I think millennials have an incredible influential voice in both in elections and in ongoing policy development work. And I think where there's a barrier is maybe understanding where that voice has a role, or understanding where there's a platform for you to use and leverage that voice. And I think one of the biggest threats that exists in blocking or maybe preventing millennials and even people who are in the next generation coming up from really having the amount of influence that I know that they do and can have is this bias that exists on younger people involved in the electoral political policy process. Mindy Romero, who's the founder of the California Engagement Project, once told me that she said, Justin, if you really look at where people who are engaged in the political and policy process are, or people who have been longtime voters, there's this undercurrent of a bias on younger people. She said, start to pick up on it, start to look at news coverage, start to look at speeches or how people develop policy or inform their decisions or approach on policy issues that impact all of us, or just on the general notion of where we think there's influence in the electoral process based on age demographic. And there's this divide, or there's this clear gap in where people have this bias on younger voters. And so I think sometimes that I've been picking up on it, I see it, I'm seeing it more and more. As a Hillary supporter, I saw it on younger voters who were for Bernie Sanders. You see this idea of, you're young, you don't get it, you don't understand, you should be for this person, instead of really harnessing what they think and what they believe and why they care the way that they care, because that power, that energy matters, and we need to bring that into the fold. We need to build this bigger sense of what we as millennials care about and want to see happen in the world. And so, I do think that the trick is finding how to harness that energy, how to harness that power, and how to point those voices and that energy into a direction that has clear platforms for engagement. Because I think once that happens, there's no question that millennials will have incredible influence, not only in this election, but moving forward. And quite frankly, for my future, for all of our futures, that's an energy that we have no other choice but to harness.